to talk to you about books. For nearly as long as humanity has had words to express, we have relied on books to carry those expressions forward, to preserve our intellectual and cultural legacy. We use these bound sheaves of paper to contain the history of human thought, imagination, and reason. Developed originally as a system of keeping record, eventually books evolved beyond a dry collection of facts. They branched out into ways of telling stories, developing into genres of fiction, non-fiction, myth, horror, drama, even occasionally transcending classification. Books became a way to record philosophy, to tell grand epics, to provide our own ethics. Books inform. They tell us our history of famous people come and gone. They can teach us science and mathematics. Books started as a means of keeping record. Symbols engraved on stone tablets evolved into hieroglyphics in the alphabet. Stone shifted to papyrus, vellum, and then paper. The Greeks had the first libraries, which expanded through to the Romans, the greatest of which was the Library of Alexandria, which, when it burned, signified the beginning of the Dark Ages. During the Dark Ages, books were the possession exclusively of the church and the rich, and had to be handwritten by monks, a painstaking process which could take years to complete. That is, until the invention of the Gutenberg printing press began the mass production of books. Modern books are printed mechanically, immediately, and are also available electronically on a different kind of tablet. From the Epic of Gilgamesh, the poems of Homer, the plays of Shakespeare, to J.K. Rowling, books have been an aspect of our culture for as long as we've been able to write them. Literacy has gone from a luxury to a basic necessity for surviving in our culture. What's your favorite book? Or series?
My favorite series is the Harry Potter books, and my favorite book of all time is probably... It's a tie between It and Carrie by Stephen King.
How often do you read outside of class?
Not very often, actually.
Very often?
I don't have time during the school year.
So you never read anything? Not like when you were a kid or in high school?
When I was a kid, yeah.
What kind of books did you read then?
I read, let's see. The Harry Potter books, does it count?
Yeah, it counts.
Okay. Yeah, Harry Potter, Captain Underpants.
I love Captain Underpants.
Does it count?
It counts.
I mean, if those books count, yeah, I read some Harry Potter books. Yeah.
Did you have any favorites out of them?
You know what? They were all pretty good, but the Chamber of Secrets probably was the best one. Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets.
What kind of books do you like to read?
Adventure books.
Adventure books?
A lot of adventure books, yeah.
Any titles?
The Alchemist. I read The Alchemist. It was beautiful. I read it in French and English, both of them. That's how much I loved it.
Alright, what was your favorite book?
My favorite book. It was a French book, La Dame du Cirque.
Did you translate that?
The Lady from the Circus. It's one of the beautiful books I ever read.
What was the last book you read?
The Alchemist.
The Alchemist?
Yeah. I have Game of Thrones, the book, but I just started.
Mostly I read what my book club is reading, so I have a new book every month. That's mostly where I get my titles, and it's about all I have time to read is about one book a month.
What was the last book you read?
The last book we read was called Silk, and it was a fiction book. I don't remember the author. And it was about a man who went to Japan every year from Europe to be involved in the silk trade, and he fell in love with a woman in Japan even though he had a wife in Europe, and it was a good book.
What kind of books do you find students checking out at the library?
There are a handful of students who look for books for pleasure. Most times when students come in looking for books, it's because they have an assignment due and they need books mostly on some kind of controversial issue.
Has there been a shift in the population of students that are usually in the library?
No, but people use the library for different things. They're not all necessarily here to check out books or look for books or even to do research. They use the facilities, they use the computer labs, they meet their groups here. Having having said that, there are a lot of students who come in here because they have specific research needs. Now that the model of books are changing, a lot of times students don't need the physical book. They can use the online version of the book, and Penn State's buying a lot of online books at this point, which is good because then we can share the resources between the students at all the different campuses.
Books have always been one of mankind's favored means of communication. Though the world of technology may be leaving the printed page behind, books will endure and continue to be read by people across the world. Thank you for your time and your attention. And please go out and enjoy a good book.